and I'm happy that you can join us today. Today I'm talking about something something that we don't usually talk about. We're in the studio today. We're in the studio, and we're in the studio because we have scheduled thunderstorms for today, so we want to try to avoid those as best as we can. And so we'll be pulling from the studio today. So happy to be here, glad to be here. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And oh, two blue wrenches, one right after the next. Back on home turf. Yeah, we've got some electrical storms coming through town today, so I thought maybe we'd play it safe. But you know, I could always bring my tinfoil hat just in case. You know, good morning, good morning, good morning. I need to grab another. I think I need to grab one more chord so that I can do this without interruption, without being turned off. But we'll go ahead and just get started with something that's sort of light and lively. We'll start with a nice tune-up. We'll get tuned up, and maybe I should adjust what's going on here a little bit so that the feet don't want to take injury here. All right. Is this in your way if I put this over here? That's not in your way. Good morning, Jill. The shores of Lake Champlain. Very cool place to be. Yeah, wonderful place to be. The home of the heady topper, which I no longer enjoy. I mean, I enjoy, but I don't partake, but I certainly appreciate the craftsmanship. P. Beck, are you serious? Can you start with Over the Hill and Far Away, please? Oh, man. Only because it's you asking. This is like a gimme, you know what I mean? This is like one of those. Raul, very nice to see you. Be back. Hey, good day, mate. Good day, mate. B. Beck, Australian folk guitar player. All right. Sky, good morning. Guitar for everyone. Good morning, Justin. Great to see so many happy, shiny faces. What was that? There was an REM tune. Shiny, happy people, right? He was always like really well known for writing super simple guitar parts, but super memorable. Mark, good morning. Michael Fisher, TGIF. It is a happy Friday. Very happy Friday. And I am very familiar with the Suzuki method as it relates to stringed instruments and fretless instruments, you know, violin or fiddle. I have a lot of friends who teach that method. Kobayashi's, you know, you're probably familiar with that name. If you're not familiar with the Suzuki method, it's the search for perfection, right? So we don't practice. Oh boy. It's the basis, my takeaway from Suzuki method is the search for perfection in learning and in practice, right? In schoolhouse and in practical application. So, good morning. I have a deep cut song for everyone, Dragging the Line. Oh, what's this? Dragging the Line. Is this one of your tunes, Anthony? B, good morning. Bernie. work on our breath while we tune, maintaining posture while we're doing both of those things. Did you see where Willie Nelson got a standing ovation for like 10 minutes? Those classical pieces are really coming together, aren't they, Raoul? Good morning. It's about a can of tuna sitting on the shelves feeling lonely. That's right. Dragging the long lines. You guys know any friends who fish on those boats? Yes, Raoul, patience and perseverance will accomplish all things. I'm not sure why I can't tune my guitar this morning. Wowzers. There we go. Creek, Lighthouse Tale, I don't know. Really cool stuff. All right, here's the got the love I need. Hey, baby, more than love. Oh, darling, 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 you got the mommy. Oh, you got so... Yeah, wow, great stuff, man. Thanks for getting that blood going this morning. I'm going to grab my battery charger, and I'll be right with you. Just one moment. Couple things today as we roll on. I've got a nice technique in case you are singers. And I know Anthony's a wonderful singer, and I haven't heard really anyone else sing. So I wanted to work a little bit on how to sing and play the guitar, just to kind of, I have a whole video developed to like a beginner's approach to playing and singing with the guitar. Something about Sing with a Guitar on my channel. You can go and take a look at it. We've got this nice beachside hut going, and I think you'll like it. It's a good one. But we'll start with, I just wanted to start with something other than what we typically start with today. And I wanted to just take a quick moment to observe the metronome. So metronomic start. Yeah. The Shondells. Very cool. Utah, good morning. Nice to see these faces. All right. Big thumbs up to Raul. I keep seeing your posts. Very cool progress. Yeah, he's ripping it up with his his picking hand, isn't he? Just crushing it. Been pretty good. I want to talk a little bit about the metronome, just really briefly, because it's so important to our craft. And if you're just tuning in, I'm Jason with Jason Carey Guitar. I'll be your host. If you decide to join us, that's great. Say hello in the live chat. The live chat is the banger of a live chat. It's a great culture. It's a great guitar culture. You're going to love it, maybe, likely. Daniel Santos, good morning. Jonathan, give us a chance to get started. Yeah, thank you. That's cool, Jonathan. We're here for you, Jonathan. We're here for you, Jonathan. But we just got to get, this is a morning ritual for guitar growth. What we're doing here, most of us, I think, have guitars in hand. Electric, acoustic, could be a drum with a snare pad, your sticks. And then we're working together to better ourselves as humans, as guitar players, guitar practitioners, whether we're beginner, whether we're intermediate, advancing guitar players. It doesn't matter where we are in the game. What matters is that you found your way here, so that's worth a little bit of a celebration. That you've identified that it's worth something of value for you to spend your time with the guitar. That's a moment to celebrate right there. I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time, and that's for the entire year of 2025. I'm going to recite something that I haven't done for a while, but I'm taking the very first session that we did. I'm going to take a look at the very first live session that we did this year, compare it with the very last live session that we do this year, and then we're going to compare and see what happens and how we benefit from 260 hours of practice time. What happened? Did my posture change? Do I speak the same? Do my fret hands and picking hands work the same? Have I truncated my attack, with the picking radius? So what are the things? We're going to take a deep dive and analyze longitudinally what happens. What kind of benefit do we get from practicing every weekday morning, 1 hour a day, with a warm-up? Not a practice, but a warm-up. The warm-up is designed so it will create a practice environment for us for later on in the day. Okay, that's what we're up to. So hang on, bring your helmet, chin strap, guitar, pick, that kind of thing. And a good well-lighted environment goes a long way in this game. 1 and 2, so let's take a look at the metronome. We're back to the metronome, and the metronome is clicking. I know this is very basic, but I always, I thought I was some hot stuff guitar player when I first started. I started my first education program with the guitar player from the Yellow Brick. There's a band called the Yellow Brick Road. They tour everywhere. If you haven't seen Yellow Brick Road yet, they're all good friends of mine and good friends of ours, but just really great musical community members. Do you know what I mean? So the guitar player, Mike, from that band is a really great friend of mine, and you're going to love, I remember starting the program and Andy showed up, and he was another Berkeley guy and another teacher, and he's the one who welcomed me to poverty, and he says, yeah, this is what I work on with the metronome. And I've had so many different people in my life, peers, teachers, mentors, students, all teach me something new and highly valuable about the metronome. And at every stage of my existence, I thought I knew it all, and then I learned something else. So I have the metronome so that it flashes, right? And I don't always rely on the flash, but it's in my periphery, my peripheral vision sometimes. And then I'm counting 60 beats per minute every single day for my warm-up. I'm not warming up at 80, I'm not warming up at 40, I'm not warming up at 120. I'm warming up at 60 because I can really take my time and understand every single thing at 60 beats per minute. It's a time, it's a division of time that I am very familiar with and easily absorb and understand. So I'm going to start with one thing. Here's one thing. Let's take a look at something brandy new. We're going to, Anthony shared somebody with me on Instagram the other day, and a guitar player, he's just playing all kinds of changes. You know, it's like the giant steps changes, you know, and then you kind of wonder, like, how do you get to the point where you can play a chord change every beat? We're going to do it right now. All I'm doing is playing a C chord instead of the, you know, the C, the Bob Dylan C, or the, you know, the, who's the guy, Major Tom? Why am I not, David Bowie C, you know, with the big fat G in the bass? Ground control, Major Tom. Ground control, Major Tom. You can see, you can hear that my rhythm, you ain't no guitar player if you ain't playing no rhythm, right? But you can hear how I'm off. And so it's just a really basic strum pattern. And I'm still not hitting the mark. If I'm not aware, if I'm just letting it click for the sake of it just clicking behind me and just to have it go and think it's going to do something for me, I've got another think coming. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're starting with C chord with G in the bass. And where do you want, since we're strumming, it's not like we're using one string. Where that one single attack goes in directly in line with the click. We're talking, if you're just joining us, we're talking about metronomic studies as we apply it to our morning ritual for guitar growths. So this is just one of those things that 1, 2, 3. Can I get the pick to attack at precisely the moment of the click? And I'm rushing, right? Right now there's nothing except the click and my downward attack on the string. And you can hear how this really raises our awareness for other things. And part of my warm-up is rhythmic readiness, right? So listen to what happens when I play only the C note. And then what happens when I stop the C note? Let's say I'm perfectly articulating that C note on top of the metronome. If I'm perfectly articulating that in unity, parity with the click of the metronome, I shouldn't be able to hear the click of the metronome. I should only be able to hear the attack of the pick. pretty, 2 or 3 of those I was pretty dead on. And a few of those I'm just, you know, 1 or 2 milliseconds in front of or behind the, maybe 5 or 6 milliseconds behind the, or in front of the click. So I'm going to focus on that for an hour. I mean, that's work that I clearly need to do. I need to do that, right? But what happens when we decide, oh, let's get back to this first. Bear with me just for one moment, please. Here's what I'm thinking in my mind. I'm thinking, you know, bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich really is what I'm thinking, with a croissant, you know, bun, butter, you know, something buttery, but really what I should be thinking of is oatmeal and raspberries and honey. That's what I should be thinking. But I'm thinking just what happens when I stop the note? There's like a zippy little, rusty little finish when I lift my finger off of the string, breaking the string, the connection to the fretboard. So now I need to, I don't like that sound. Now what I need to do is either palm mute with the blade of my picking hand, or stop that from ringing with fingers 2 and 3 on my fret hand. And that really cleans up the sound of my technique. So I should be thinking in this direction in terms of, can I play a quarter note that sounds good before I start, you know, ripping off 16th notes? Because, you know, I think if I become aware of, you know, how does that work with finger number 1? Can I end this note clean? Listen to the difference between this technique and this technique. Super clean, right? And then of course I'd want to figure that out on every finger. I'm just resting the fingers, the choking fingers. I need 2 fingers though to choke, because if I only use 1 finger, it's not heavy enough to dampen the string. Listen. 2 fingers kills it though. So I have to, for the 3rd finger, I have to incorporate the lift, the breaking of the string with the fret, and a downward motion with my pinky coming to rest on the string as a choking agent. And then with the 4th finger, when I break the connection with the fret, it's going to be super quick, and then I have these other fingers becoming the choking agent behind the fretted tone. And then still that disconnection sound, right? And no matter how I plug the string, no matter where I fret the note, there's always that little buzz upon, you know, the departure from the, when the string leaves the contact with the fret, that string's still vibrating and it's still slapping that fret. So just to be aware of those little things add up to something of great importance when you're a recording artist. So those are really important things to know. And certainly we need a reptilian song. Free bird, yeah. Get the lead out. So, man, imagine singing like Plant. Wow. All right, here we go. Let's start out with the strum. This is what I was building up to, is the readiness, the rhythmic readiness we have Now instead of dealing with one note and one singular attack versus the metronome and you finding unison or unity, we have multiple strings. Let's say we have that big fat, that 6-string chord, that C chord with a G in the bass. There's like blah, 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 all of these notes just rolling out everywhere. So how do we line that up with the click of the metronome? Where do we decide is the attack, the moment of the attack, 3, 2, 1 contact, right? Where do we decide that? And that is a decision that you will have to answer for yourself just by doing this for 1, 2, observing the click, really feeling the click, and then I'm going to make this exercise, this downstroke, be just open high E, and that's it. High E is where I want to be at that moment of the click. I don't want to be anywhere else. 1. I saw one of my buddies, Stevie, break his guitar neck right off his neck doing that. This is another popular one that we do around here, and I've also seen that fail. I've seen it fail here and here, so if you do that, just be careful. It's not something, that's not something I endorse, especially if it's cross-grained. So I've broken guitars myself too, $3,500 guitars, just split all the way up the side from doing the rhythmic drumming thing on the guitar. So, talk about make a grown man cry. I still finished the Irish gig, and still finished it, but I was very upset by it. Let's try to make the B string now. Let's make the B string. Getting in my angular finger exercises, my favorite warm-up. This is happening. Can you play Dust in the Wind by Canvas? I can. So I'm just working on that B string. Now I want the B string to connect specifically with that click. So at the time of the strum, good, you get the point. Open G. We're gonna get that G chord, that G string rolling. 1, 2, 3, that's on the click. So you see what I'm doing, we're engaged in playing 6 strings, but the click could be here, the click could be here, the click could be here, it could be here, it could be here, it could be here. So this is all up to you to discern for yourself, if you want. And this is just the depths that I've taken over the years to explore the actual act of strumming the guitar in a professional, as a professional might approach it. But I like to dilly dally too, so I'm not 100% nerd. So finger 3, this is for you, Jill. So finger 3 on the low E string is the beginning. of the down. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's where the click is. So I'll be sure to start the picking sequence where I pluck that G note precisely at that same moment. 1.21 gigawatts. What's the value that we need? So we've got that really nice point of contact. I'm finding it. Here we go. And the strums are going to sound behind like we're laying way back on the beat. This one's a hard one for me to get sort of a grip on. So let me know which ones are harder for you than others if you want to discuss this more, but you get the point. I don't want to rob you of your experience of doing it actually for yourself. I'd be happy to write it all out, but it's more important for me to do the research myself and then just to kind of practice it myself. So hopefully that works for you too. All right. Yeah, did you see the last music video he ever made? Man, what a dude. I'm close enough to a tune. Let's go ahead and get started with our warm-up today. We'll be mindful rhythmically of what exactly is going on and more precisely engaged with everything that we have going on at the moment. Any other Zepp tunes that we should check out? Oh, how about, I think this is another thing that I wanted to talk about today, is getting through these chords, like let's take another look at, we were playing C with G in the bass and somehow we got on to like Ziggy what's the name of that tune? Oh my gosh, I'm like losing it. Who knows the name of that tune? Just some guitar guy. here it is. So I wanted to take a look at the C chord, and C on fret 3 on the A string, fret 5 on the D string, and then open, no, we're not playing open G, we're choking it, and then fret 5 on the B. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for being here. You know, I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Time this time of year, for the morning ritual for guitar growth. So typically what we do is we work on warming up, and we just focus exclusively on that. But once in a while, you know, moderate everything in moderation, including moderation. So sometimes that just goes out the window, and I'm sure, you know, the people I disappoint are understanding and forgiving enough to be forgiving about this. So, but we have this really nice C chord, and then I wanted to just take a quick minute about, you know, how to move that C chord through the C major scale diatonically, like all of the, you know, major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, and then major again, right? So we have this really nice, there are two shapes basically. One of them is the happy chord, and then one of them is the sad chord. And then the other one's the cousin that, you know, comes to Thanksgiving. You know, ties the lady on the railroad tracks, and then, you know, so there's a really cool chord to know. This is a really cool chord to know. Here's another one that's really cool to know. So, root 5th, 10. Root 5th, flat 10. Root, flat 5, flat 10, or flat 3. So major. To get lined up with metronome. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 4. So we can create these really cool rhythmic patterns, but I'm just thinking quarter notes right now is plenty for me, right? So major, minor, minor, and major. And then these really great chords that we can rely on and help us to communicate across the neck. So one of the warm-up things that I would do with something like this would be to take a look at, you know, all of these chords. So I'm working with C or C, right? On the D, on the top 4 strings, I would need to start with D minor, and then E minor, and then F, and then G, A minor, and then B diminished, and then C major. I try to outline, those are the benefits that we get from outlining chords like that. You're working through the chant, you're working through the stuff, aren't you? Let's go ahead and get it up to, let's go through that. We'll terminate this now and we'll start the actual warm up. I'm going to start on fingers 1 and I'll just do the 2 and 4 stretches and then we'll burn through these at 16th note triplets. So 1 E, da ga da ga da ga ga da ga da da. You guys ready for that? So we're just going to flip the switch. We talked an awful lot about some really different things, and I don't want to overload any of, I don't want to overload myself, number one. I do still need to get a warm up. I have some session work starting at 9, which I need to be ready for. So let's go ahead and do this. Ready? 1 E and a 2, T E O. Da ga da ga ga da ga ga da ga da ga da ga. Oh, popicatepito, 1, 2, go. I think I'm starting with 2 and 4 though, on frets 9 and 12. And you can do hammer-ons, pull-offs. But I'm going to coordinate alternate. Mark, see you later, man. Thanks for being here. Happy Friday. Have a super weekend. Really working the breath this morning. Also working on playing the additional, notes that don't belong. So 1 E, the 1 and 4 on fret 7 and 12. Here we go. Happy picking, that's cool. There we go. That's a burn right there. That's a good little burn. I'm going to go ahead and stretch just for a moment and just see where that takes us. Good solid breath in through the nose. I'm just reminding myself that this is what happens sometimes, and it's okay when you're engaged in your own practice, in your own private practice. It's totally okay to jump off the rails and go dive into a discovery-based practice session where all of the things that you needed to do, or that at least that you felt like you needed to do, can go right out the window, and you can go chase the dragon down the, find that new path, find the new thing, practice the thing that is inspiring you right here, right now in the moment. And that's okay to do. That's not something to bypass. That's all part of the learning sequence. The discovery-based part of this is where we find our own musical and guitaristic voices. It's just how it works. Yeah, I'm Jason, and you're watching me stretch right now as part of my morning ritual for guitar growth live stream. This happens every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I do this because I want to remember how important it is for me and how thankful I am personally that I get to spend time with the guitar every day. There are those of us who cannot be there and cannot do that. Those of us who are serving and protecting. The ability for me to just sit here and rattle this kind of stuff off to the internet. So I think heavily about being appreciative for all of the things that other people have earned for me to do. I'm able to do this at the moment without being fired on, for example. Without being, you know, this is a really important thing. It's hard to just, sometimes I forget it. Sometimes I just get up, brush my teeth, comb my hair, get out of bed, go downstairs, get a cup, you know, and then fall into a dream and forget about all of this, what it took for me to just be here to do this, you know, what it took for, and it's so simple to acknowledge. It's so simple to acknowledge. Speaking of acknowledgement, Marco, thank you very much. All right. See you later, Jill. Have a wonderfully super Friday today. All right. Marco, thank you very much. Let's go ahead and take a look. My arms feel brand new now. Get out of bed before you brush. Yeah, pro tip. What's going on, Monster Cans? You know, that stuff's bad for you. I guess it's supposed to be bad for you. But it's cool to see you here. And I like your, you know, I like the joking demeanor. It's cool that you're here joking along with us and you feel good about that. I wanted to thank you for being here with us. All right, let's go ahead and jump back. Popocatépetl. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attacks per beat. Hit that like button too. That's right, Marco. Sometimes I forget to do the housekeeping. I'm going to change up the way I hold my pick too, just to get that tone shaped, you know. Scrappy notes here and there, but that's okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, stretch 4. Oh, my pinky's in need. That's right, it's definitely needing this. And if you're only able to do quarter notes or 16th notes, that's cool. Just do those right along with us. But I'm Jason. This is my morning ritual for guitar growth, and I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. You know, working the warm up, just getting ready for the guitar day. and you are free to join whenever you would like. The live chat is a great place to be. It's a wonderful place to be. Asking questions, sharing guitar knowledge, sharing guitar wisdom. But for most of us, we're just here with guitars in hand, waking up with a guitar, or maybe it's a little later in the day for some of us across the globe, and so we're just getting the seat time. And we'll just do the kickstand. So frets 8, 10, 11, and 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. What are we doing? I see you moving right at your fingertips versus whole hand and alternate picking. Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about that. Okay. So it's like I'm suturing my way through the string set. So I get the downstroke. The pick is at the same. How do we see this? There we go. The pick is at the same angle downstroke as it is upstroke, and then so there's a little bit of a forward. There's a little bit of a forward bend. I'm exaggerating, of course. Forward roll, and then leaning this way forward, and then the upstroke is going to look like opposite of that, leaning back, upstroke. Just think like you're a member of the audience at a Fish concert. No problem, right? You know what I mean? Just going with the flow, man. So just swimming your way through the string set. Good observation. Here, this is what it looks like with a kickstand. So to the bugga-da, bugga-da. With zero wrist, zero or very little wrist movement. So all of the tonal transfer comes from the thumb and index fingers, and then the angle of the pick. Hey, Zach. But and then you can do this just really tight, sort of like get your arm to kind of like get the palm of your hand, right here, the Daniel LaRusso. Yeah, just to kind of mount on the saddle of the guitar, and that will shorten your picking radius, so you can. You can really get a good kind of like a quick little burst of energy that way. Tightens your shoulders. You really need to have some kind of like, stretch therapy after that, that kind of work, anterior, posterior stuff. But go ahead and check it out. So we can just kind of use that same thing, that same sort of that same technique where you're shortening your burst. You're not controlling any tone with your thumb and index. You're just kind of burning through the notes. it's just one of those things that you can work up to in practice. But changing how the pick hand approach is like hugely important for anything we do with the guitar relating to rhythmic subdivision, tone production, and dynamic level, I think. So, it's a really important hand to study. So I think that's about it for me today. I really appreciate you sticking around and smashing that like button and, just being here in general. I was thinking about this earlier this morning, like the fact that I have mates to pass this time with from all over the planet. It's just a really great thing to do. And I'm not going to get all like, pulling on the heartstrings like some of my good friends do on the internet, but I just wanted to say I do appreciate that there are other people here doing this alongside me, So that's a really cool thing to observe, and I just wanted to take a minute to say that. Thank you. And let's see, I missed a lot of the comments today because we did get way out there. So a lot of great stuff at the beginning of this session, some wacky stuff, but a lot of great stuff. So once this is finished being live, we'll go ahead and republish it to the channel. You can go and view it on demand and just take a look at some of that really great stuff in this session. I feel it was great, worthy. It's definitely worth it to me anyway. So there it is. Kevin's at the bottom of the hour with us right here. Kevin is Mr. Calendar. I hope things are going well with rhythmic subdivision and all of that stuff. I hope your playing is going well. The strings, the new strings, I'd like to hear about that at some point. Have a great weekend, everybody. And until Monday, Steve's Lava Chicken. Alternate picking whilst bridging with your picking hand, slightly moving your strings. Very cool. You are graced with the old secrets of the old ways of the metal guitar player. Yeah, I can see that. I can hear that just the way you're talking. Oh, Dick Dale, you're talking Dick Dale too. There you go. You know what's going on. You know what's going on. These techniques are awesome, so helpful. Good. Let's see. Have a great weekend all. Robbie, we'll see you. Sky, we'll see you. Bernie, we'll see you. And Sky, keep picking. I've got some guitars coming from you guys. I need to work on my picking hand. Oh, me too. Man, you're crushing it over there, Zach. I don't know if you guys have checked out Zach's channel, but Zach's quite an accomplished guitar player. So if you're not checking out Zach's channel, cool idea. He's got some great content over there. Looks like Anthony's got some shirts too. I can't believe I didn't mention that. Oh, man. Anyway, I hope that you have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. And God bless. That's great. Thank you so much for saying that and sharing that with us. Thank you. All right, happy picking. Until Monday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. Take a look over the weekend for some full-length videos to air, and we'll see you again very soon. Until then.